So to start this off, I think the most consistent loadout you're going to see is the Ram 7 paired with the HMR. And that's mainly because the Ram 7 only got a damage range nerf by like 6 meters. So every damage drop off is going to be reduced by 6 meters, which really isn't going to be all that noticeable. So this is a gun you're going to still see across Warzone, dominating as usual. Second up, like I said, we have the HMR. This has just been a really good SMG since it got introduced into the game. And now this is a build that I found to work best for me. I just like it because it has really good sprint to fire speed, ADS speed, movement, and then the recoil really is not that hard to manage at all. Like, this is easily top 3 SMG right now. And now moving on from that, next up what we have is the SVA 545. This has been good since the beginning of the game, and people are still sleeping on this gun for some reason. Now this is a fun weapon because you can use it in full auto and have no problem with the recoil, or you can put it in single fire or the tap option. And look at this, I'm not even controlling recoil at all. This thing is not moving. Like, it's actually crazy. And the good thing about that is that you're not losing any of your time to kill speed or anything like that. So if you guys can't really control recoil that well, look into this weapon and put into the tap fire option. Next up, what we have is the Ram 9. Now, as of lately, this has been my favorite SMG so far. When you throw this gun on, you will not lose any gunfights to the HMR because this gun does outkill that weapon. The only thing with this gun is that you're not going to have as great a sprint to fire speed, so that may be a little bit of a problem for you. And then other than that, the recoil can be a little bit wavy. Like, you're not going to notice it at the first target, but at the second one, you can start to see it makes like a S curve. But if you're able to get over that, I think this is going to work out just fine for you. All right, now next up, I know a lot of you guys are probably not going to believe me, but the Holger 26 is actually a really good option this season. And as of lately, this has been my go-to weapon because just watch this. The recoil on here is super easy to use, and it has really good damage range. Like, overall, it's super consistent. Does not move. This build is actually crazy. So out of all the builds I'm showing you, I really want you guys to try this one out. Other than that, we have the AMR 9. Now, you guys remember when I said, you know, top 3 SMG. This may arguably be the #1 SMG in the game, only because of the time to kill. This has the fastest time to kill, better than the Ram 9, better than the HMR. And I mean, this gun is not hard to use at all. Recoil is super easy to manage, everything like that. The only downside, once again, is that sprint to fire speed and the ADS speed. But once again, if you can just get past that small problem, this gun is super good. And look at the damage range. You're good until 20 meters. Like, that's insane for SMG. All right, now next up, I think it's time we get rid of the MTZ 762 for the 556. So I'm saying that because the 762 got a pretty big damage nerf, and honestly, the 556 is just the 762, but it has much better recoil control, and it also comes with a 50 round mag. Now, my build for this gun, I prefer iron sights on this one. It makes the gun a little bit more steadier in my opinion. But if you guys do not like iron sights, you can remove the stock or the underbarrel. And I highly recommend this new glassless optic because this is easily the best sight in the game. Like, it reduces that visual recoil. So recoil on this gun is super easy to manage. So definitely look into that one if you have not already. And now, surprisingly, my 4th best SMG in the game is going to be the Striker 9. This is now surpassed the Striker 45. I know before the Striker 45 was better than this, but now time to kill wise, recoil control, this is just the better option. If you guys prefer to run an optic on here because the iron sights can be a little bit difficult to use, get rid of the rear grip and put on whatever optic you want. And I'm only saying that because your front sight is kind of in the way sometimes when you shoot. So I can see why that may be a problem for some of you guys. And now lastly, I know a lot of you guys probably won't believe me on this, but the Holger 556 is actually really good this season. This thing got a huge damage buff, and besides that, the recoil is super easy to use. The only downside is the 40 round mag, but this gun has always been good. It just has never been the meta. So moving forward, definitely look into the Holger 556 if you have it leveled up. If you don't, then just use the other guns I already talked about. For the SMG option, I think the 5th best SMG would be the WSP 9. But to be honest, I really don't think you guys should even use this one. I mean, use the first 3 SMGs I showed you. Just take your pick out of those, because the WSP 9 is good, but it's not as good as those ones I just mentioned. But now, don't get me wrong, this gun is not bad by any means. It's just not that great. So that is my top 5 guns for season 2.5 after the update. And if you guys have a buddy that needs help with loadouts, just go ahead and send them this video. And besides that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I will be uploading gameplay on the brand new battle rifle in just a few hours here on this channel.